So Hariom again, and I am very happy to introduce you to our Swami Muktanandaji, to all of you, and also to our larger expanded Shivananda family who will be watching online, either now or later. So Swamiji, he's from Canada, but on the other side from where I'm from. And he's from the French part, but fluent in English and Spanish. And Swamiji just usually only spends 2 or 3 months here per year, and the rest of the year he is giving satsangs, mostly in the Spanish and the French-speaking world, but he also has some English satsangs at the Divine Life Society ashram near Montreal. It's called Anande. And sometimes those satsangs are in English, and then he will give another English satsang in Assisi. So he works very hard. He is continuously giving satsangs. And so anyways, we're very happy that he came for the Christmas this year. It's been the first time that he's been here live for a long time. We did hear from him during the COVID years and last year because of the wonders of technology. So Swamiji, welcome.
Thank you. Amrita Rupananda. Om. Blessed, immortal Atman, beloved children of the Divine. Acha. Thank you. Om. This is a cup. A glass? Well, don't get me started. Because, people call that a glass or a cup. But then it's true, it's made out of glass. The weight of it is glass. What you see is glass, what you touch is glass, and yet we call that a glass or a cup in the sense of a cup, because it's the same word. The same thing with the world. The world is Brahman. The only thing you touch, you see is Brahman, and yet what you see, you call the world, just like you call this the cup. So, we have to be grateful, I think, there's a subject like this. And certainly the extraordinary knowledge that we receive here is the truth about who am I, why am I here, the nature of the world, the nature of God, and with a description which is complete. So the opportunity that we have, the sages of India say, is to discover the I of your life, which is infinite and eternal. For example, when you are 3 months old, there's a state in the baby that is 3 months old. Nobody in general remembers being 3 months. You remember maybe being a year at the most. But 3 months, nobody remembers being 3 months. Because the functions of the brain are not working yet. Memory, thoughts, reasoning, that is not functional. And though that is not functional, when you are 3 months old, you exist. The question is, in what form? And the answer is similar to the state in which you are when you are in deep sleep. In deep sleep, your experience is nothing. There is no mind, no memory, no thinking, no reasoning process. And yet you exist. You are there during the deep sleep state. Question is, in what form? That which is there is infinite and eternal, and the nature of it is spirit. The discovery of first the state in which you are, when you are in deep sleep, discovering that in the waking state, and the discovery of the I that is there, in the deep sleep state that is recognized in the waking state, can be said to be God realization. So, the baby, when he's 3 months old, is enjoying the nature that is there, which is bliss, the nature of love itself, which is there. Baby enjoys that. But he's not awakened to the self, but he enjoys the nature of the self. The body that he has received makes it possible for him in this lifetime to wake up consciously to that state in which he is when he is 3 months old, or the state in which you are when you are in the deep sleep state, recognized in the waking state. And the I that is there is infinite and eternal. The I that is there is of the nature of spirit. The I that is there, your I, is infinite and eternal. That is the true you. The little I, that is the identification to the body and mind, can never, ever, ever, ever find, by whatever meditation process, japa, whatever, can never reach the I, which is infinite and eternal. And yet we are required to do that, and there is a reason for that. But your true nature is like that. It is described as that. Indescribable, unthinkable, unknowable. So if it is infinite, and it is infinite and eternal, that means that it occupies all of this space anyway, every speck of space. This world, therefore, in a sense, should not exist the way that you think of it. If you find the I, this world should not and will not exist the way you think that it exists if you discover that I. Because the I is infinite and eternal. And when you find that I, then you find that by which knowing you know everything. Because everything is that. Everything is of the nature of that spirit. So, that is the kind of knowledge that we receive here in India. And it requires the intelligence, in a way, of a sadhak, not the intelligence of an intelligent person. It's the intelligence of a sadhak, that is someone simply that makes God the goal of his life. If it was a question of intelligence that you have at the university, then you have a human being is very intelligent. He can resolve many things with his reasoning, his thinking, his processing, mental process. But that is not by that kind of process that you find yourself. And yet it requires a certain intelligence, a certain acceptance of the truth revealed by the scriptures. The truth revealed by the scriptures is such in India that for the normal human being it is impossible to process. And so it takes a certain sadhana to cease to be the idea of being the body and mind, because that is the obstacle. For example, if you take the Mandukya Upanishad says everything is Om. Om is A, U, M. In the Upanishadic understanding, the Mandukya Upanishad, A is the waking state. U is the dream state. M is the deep sleep state. So what it says actually is that these three states are not as the human being is usually thinking. The human being thinks, I am a human being, I am this body, I am small, and this universe is big. And in my dream, I am still the body and mind, and my brain is imagining this dream state. And in the deep sleep state, my brain is going with gamma rays and I'm resting. When in fact, the truth is different. It starts with the deep sleep state. In the deep sleep state, you have I, which is infinite and eternal. In the deep sleep state, there is, of course, God, which coincides with I, but it is unmanifested. And there is also consciousness. When you wake up, you say, oh, I had a good sleep. So there is the consciousness that is there, that was there during the deep sleep state, which is able to remember that, oh, I had a good sleep. So there are three things: God, I, and consciousness, which actually coincides. It's the same thing, but it is unmanifested. Then, from that state, you're going into the dream state. The dream state is actually the I, or God, or the consciousness that is there in the deep sleep, which, just like the ocean, manifests. And in this manifestation, the I, or spirit, or consciousness appears as mind. And there comes the capacity of seeing, perceiving duality. So, from the deep sleep you arrive, and suppose you are on the ocean shore in Bali, on the ocean. You see the sunset. And the sunset is coming down and the sky full of stars. The universe that is there in the dream state is as magnificent, as vast, as infinite as the universe in this waking state. And it is not the little brain, though it has billions of neurons, that is creating that. If it was able to create it in the dream state, then it should be also able to create it in the waking state. But we see it cannot. So that which is there is actually a manifestation of I. So the sun that is there in the dream, the ocean that is there in the dream, the sky full of stars, and if you were an astronomer, you could see billions and billions of galaxies in the dream state, as vast, as big as in this waking state. Because it is a manifestation of I, or God, or spirit, consciousness that is infinite. Not a manifestation of the brain. And then you have the waking state. Now, I was saying that it is when you start studying the knowledge that is given by the sages of India, for the common person, it is not possible, because now what I'm saying is that means that when you are in deep sleep, this world around you does not exist. When you are in the dream state, this world around you does not exist. Think of that. Are you ready to accept that? The brain is not able. The idea, I am the reasoning process, I am the human body, is unable to accept that. It's going to be error, something, bug is going to come. Wait. How can that be? When I am in deep sleep, I ask my brother to check if the world still existed, and he confirmed, yes, you were. I saw you in deep sleep, and the world was perfectly there. But to be able to be told that, you have to wake up. So the Mandukya Upanishad is saying, Om, that we repeat, A, U, M, means that it's three different manifestations of consciousness, and not I as the body and mind that is the reality or the center of thing. So now, how to discover that I? So, first thing first, the basic problem is the identification to the body and mind. There is a sense I am, and there is a mountain of identification associated with I am. I am the body, I am the mind, I am my thoughts, I am my memories, I am the characteristic of my body, I am my nationality, my geography, my history, my religion, my race, and so like that, a mountain of thoughts. So this is a basic mistake. And we have been conditioned like this for a long time. So what we can do is to decondition this conditioning of thinking I am the body and mind. So the basic information that we receive, the knowledge that we receive is you're not the body, you're not the mind, you are the immortal self, or Atman. Chidanan, Chidanan, Chidanandahum. Arahallame Sat Chidanandahum. Chidanandarupam Shivoham Shivoham. So, in Christian terms, you could say that the highest teaching of Jesus is, my Father and I are one and the same. So now, the interest would be, oh Father, all that I want in my life is to discover where I am one with Thee. I am one with Thee, I believe it. I don't know where, I don't know how, but I believe it. Now let my life be dedicated to this discovery. So that is the beginning and the end, right there. Life is like a cup. A cup, if you put it, suppose the rain is the grace of God, the cup is the cup of your life. There's no, for your information, in case you don't know, there's no free will. There's no free will. Because you're not the body and mind that you think that you are. Just like in the dream state, the individual that you think that you are, when you are in the dream state, you may be convinced, I have a free will. But then, when you look back at your dream state and you analyze, did I have a free will? No. But that does not disturb you because you realize, but I was not this individual that I thought that I was in the dream state. And when you compare the individual that you think that you are in the dream state to the individual that you think that you are in this waking state, you can put an equal sign between. But one of them, you said, is not who you are. You are not that. Then you have to come to the conclusion that this one also is not who you are. But then who are you? Well, okay, Chidanandarupam Shivoham Shivoham. I am that, I am Shiva. But where? So in life you have two directions, very basic, very simple. One direction is going to the world. The other direction is going to God. Direction that goes to the world is vast and open. Billions of possibilities, attractions, and responding to the call of the world through so many possibilities and desires. And then there is no, what I want is God. Then it's a very narrow path in the other opposite direction. So then I have my glass. So the glass is the glass of your life, already written, your life. But then the difference is it can be like this and it can be like that. It's okay. Now, if the rain is the grace of God, if I put it like this, even if it rains and it pours down, it will never fill up, ever. If I put it like this, in very little time it will be full. Doesn't take much time to get filled up. So it's attitude. Attitude is a big thing. It seems to be nothing, and yet it is huge. Attitude. But the attitude we keep up because we have made one basic decision. All that I want is God, God, and God alone, at the exclusion of everything else. There's a lady that came to the Sadhana Saptah. She went to Guru Maharaj, Swami Muktanandaji Maharaj. She said, Swamiji, I come to the Sadhana Saptah since 30 years, yet I have not realized God yet. And immediately Swamiji said, yes, you come since 30 years to the Sadhana Saptah. And you have not realized God yet, yes. Because you want God, but you also want your husband, and your car, and your house, and your children. She did not have to give up any of these things. She just had in her life to have an attitude which was conducive of ripening up to antaryamin, to the peace within, to interiority, to the peace, inner peace. Awakening to spirit goes through inner peace. Peace is the reality. So we say, asato ma satgamaya, lead me from the unreal to the real. So you call that the world. I call that an expression of his peace. There is no world then. It's only peace, for starters. We're not at spirit yet, but peace is a reality which we can touch. Peace is something you can experience. You know, in meditation you feel that peace, silence. Brahmamurta, you wake up at 4, oh, there's a profound peace. It's tangible. You can touch, you can hold that peace in the hand of your experience. That is going to be a place where you can love God and see then that everything and everyone belongs to that peace, beyond good and evil, beyond attraction and repulsion. Once a man was walking in the woods. He saw a human excrement. So, he was disgusted by the human excrement, oh my God. So he wanted to make a turn around it. And then before he could turn around it, the excrement that was there yelled in horror, ah! And then, what's wrong with you? Why do you yell like this? You're the one that's the excrement. Oh, no, get away from me. I was a beautiful piece of chocolate cake with whipped cream. Everybody was admiring me, Everybody wanted me. Everybody was looking at me with admiration. Until one of your kind approached me and touched me, and look at my condition now. So if you touch me again, God knows what can happen to me. Please get away. Oh. So we qualify things good, bad, you know. And it creates all sorts of conditioning which belong to the world. When everything actually belongs to God. And so it takes a deconditioning, and the deconditioning is done, for example, in India we have the concept of Mother Kali. You know, Kali with the tongue pending like this, and she's black. You know why she's black? Because when you look with your intellect at that peace within, it is dark. That darkness, that peace, that silence is Kali as you touch it. And she's drawing the whole universe. That is God. In India, we say it's not possible to go to Nirguna Brahman without passing through Saguna Brahman. That is, that inner peace is a place of that is abstract. The idea that we have of being the body and mind is concrete. So the concrete idea that I have of being the body and mind is going to abide in that peace, and after a while it is bored. It is making an interpretation. Okay, I stay in that peace, and now what else? Oh, it's been an hour already, oh my God. You know, I'm bored. It is interpreted as loneliness, solitude, melancholy, sadness. And so what you do, you bring a concrete idea of God in that peace so that you can abide in that peace with the concrete idea that you have of being the body and mind in a comfortable way, until that you become actually a body of that peace. So it's not that I speak now, Kali speaks, meaning that peace speaks, that silence speaks, that silence sees. God talks. And it takes a long time putting the light of your belief in that peace, in God, in the form of that peace, to profoundly believe it is really like this. Once, Swami Muktanandaji Maharaj was in Assisi. He was giving a satsang. And the birds there were absolutely crazy. And, oh, Omar, you were there. Remember that? Then Swamiji did the birds, so we could not hear Swamiji. And then Swamiji stopped, he looked at the birds and he said, "Who speaks?" Immediately all the birds. And Swamiji gave his satsang for an hour and a half. And then after the satsang, he looked at the birds and he said, "Okay, now you can." And immediately, so it takes time, but with the light of your belief, you are the light of the world. With the light of your belief invested in Antaryamin, that it is God, it absorbs the whole world. Everything belongs to God here, not outside but belongs to God, and you are yourself an expression of that peace. And it is in the form of that peace that you, the I, that state which is there in deep sleep, and where there is that spirit, that can arise now. That beyond, the beyond can, and then you can start believing the great Mahavakyas, the great truths. Which are not possible on the level of I am the body and mind, so it takes time. So, is it 11:20? I'm supposed to speak until 11.
You have 10 more minutes.
Yeah, so maybe you should ask questions.
There is time for questions for our panel, when we have our panel on the 31st.
Well,
Okay, you can ask questions now.
you know, Robert, where's, yes, Robert. So you see, Robert, there is you are starting, and when I was 20, I decided to dedicate my life to God and His service. That was a decision I took when I was 20. And I found the book of Gurudev, the teaching of Shivananda. You know, it was the many books of Gurudev put into one book, done by Jean Herbert from France, in French. But essentially, the message was, wake up early in the morning, if you can 4, 5, 6 at the most. Install yourself in a position like this. Now you can have the repetition of God's name and feeling the presence of God. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, with the impression at every moment that God is going to appear to me and give me liberation. So we give a carrot to the mind. You know, we need to give a carrot to the mind. You know, it's okay, he won't know. He won't know. The carrot to the mind is the impression that God is going to appear in front of you. You know? Actually, I'll tell you something. This boy, yesterday, was in Manandamayi's ashram in Kankal, and he has something in his head about a decision that he has to take. So he sat there and he said, and I know him since he's in the womb, actually, you know, not you, his mom, which is there. And so he sat there in meditation, okay, I'm going to sit here until I have an answer and I will not move. And then not long after this determination, he saw in front of him Krishna appearing in front of him, the face of Krishna coming again and again, you know, and then the answer to his questions. So anyway, this is not the kind of vision we want, because this was a bit of a, you know, for some decisions. But here is like, oh, you have the, so that means God comes at your one day like this. So you abide in that repetition of God's name, and one day, oh, you have a vision of God, But what it is really is that peace has taken place, and now it has ripened, and you're ready for the awakening to spirit in your life. So then, what to do in life? You sit in the morning with the repetition of God's name, and then during the day you repeat God's name, you live your life. Suppose you are a flight attendant, then everything that you do is the service of God. You're not working for Australian Airlines. You're working, it's the service of God. You're not working for the passengers. It's the service of God. And you see God in the form of all your passengers. So it's a simple trick, attitude. Even if you're married and have children, it's not my son, it's not my daughter. It is God's expression. That seems to be something simple, but it changes everything. The mother naturally feels my son. It's a big sacrifice. That's a symbol of the cross. You have to trust in that sacred, to say, no, it's not my son, it is God that is here. So taking the habit of seeing God in your son, if you're able to see God in your son, God in your daughter, God in your husband, God in your wife, then you can see God everywhere. If a wife is able to see God in her husband, then finished. She sees God everywhere. So, see, the attitude goes a long way. So that's why it's not a question of human brain intelligence, it's a question of a sadak and a decision sense. So yes, what questions? Yes.
Dear Swami, thank you so much for this talk, first. Second, if I see the world as a direct reflection of my inner state, as a direct message, something that is mirroring me every time again, then do we have really free will to make a choice? Or is everything already destined just for you to realize to walk and don't make a choice, but let the choice be made for you?
You see, in the path, in this discovery of the self, you need there's a need of a guidance, because it's very precise, For example, when you say this reflection, if I see the world as a reflection, it's not, this would be kind of a mental thing. The thing is that this peace within you, what is here actually is God. It is, but the word God, let's put it as life, for example, with a big L. It's life itself. It is that peace is infinite, it's eternal. There's an intelligence of the infinite there. And it's consciousness itself which takes that appearance in the form of that peace to bring you back home. So it means that which you feel within, everything, if you see a tree, you call it a tree. So what is a tree? Is it the leaf? Is it the wood? Is it the roots? Is it the photosynthesis? No, the tree actually belongs to that peace here. It's an expression of that life. So you have a principle within which includes everything that is outside in appearance. So you have to, that is the foundation of love thy neighbor as thyself. I don't know you, you don't know me. I don't know your mom, your dad, your grandmother, your grandfather, your brother, sisters, if you have or not. I know nothing about you. And yet, I can love God in the form of that peace within, as you can love God in the form of that peace within. And I'm not outside of that God which is inside of you. It's not felt in an objective way. It's felt in a subjective way. So when we speak about mirror, the mirror is just whatever you think of this world, it becomes who you are. So to get rid of that mirror image, you have to be able to see that principle here which unites everything and awakes you, makes it possible for you to awake to the beyond. So, for example, if you love God in the form of that peace, okay, you say Swami Muktananda belongs to that peace. Above attraction and repulsion. No, he belongs whatever, he belongs to that peace. Then what happens? Love awakens. So it's a process of awakening to the nature of spirit itself, which is love itself. It's not the mental thing. You see? It's not the mind play. It's a use of, and it's a belief. It's a workout of belief in the principle which, okay, everything belongs to that peace. And then with this, you know, so that the belief in that peace within, the belief in God is the foundation, because then that peace becomes Vidyamaya, the current which runs with a passion to God, awakening you to His Spirit. Take it this way. Moses arrives on the top of the mountain. He arrives in front of the burning bush, and God speaks to him. Moses, Moses, put off thy shoes from off thy feet, for the ground upon which you walk is holy. I am the God of thy father, the God of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Moses removes his shoes. Then there's a conversation. Then he asks God, what is thy name? And whom shall I tell the people is sending me? I shall be that which I shall be. Eheye asher eheye. But thou shalt speak to the people. Thou shalt say that, quote unquote, I am has sent you. Then that's an information. So at night, in the Jerusalem news, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Imagine today Moses has seen God and he has revealed that he's here inside of us in the form of I am. No, really? Yes. So Eli takes that to heart. Eli, after Moses, Eli takes that to heart. He's going to go on the same mountain. I have gone back to Zion, which is the body. I've stayed in Yerushalayim. Yeru, fear, Shalom, peace, which is the definition of I am. And now Jerusalem has been called the city of truth. You're awakening to spirit. That's the simplicity of the process. Eli has done it, Ezekiel, Zechariah. Now imagine, when do we go today to the synagogue? When do we go to the church? When do we go to the temple? When do we go to the mosque? And they tell us, oh, you know, inside of you there's that peace which is a sense I am, where you should love God. And see, we, the Jewish people, should see that the Palestinians belong to that peace. And oh yes, yes, yes. And then beyond attraction and repulsion. And then we go to the mosque. Oh, you see, within you is the peace of Allah. And then, oh, the Jews, the Israelis, they belong to that peace. Yes, yes, yes. That conditions your actions. Your actions, then it's possible to act in kindness and goodness. Otherwise, we're conditioned by thoughts, and that's a mess, and we see the results. So the same thing about church, the same thing about whatever. That's the teaching in simplicity.
If everything is unity, so there's no separation between you or any one of us.
That's true, except when you say everything is unity, it's just a thought. You have to ripen to that peace within, to feel it and to love God in the form of that peace, and see then that everyone belongs to that peace. That's the workout, and that takes time to decondition the conditioning. But when you're deconditioned, you can rise. You, who you are. Who are you? You are that self, infinite and eternal. Where? Yeah, you are hiding yourself with the thoughts. So we have to decondition these thoughts, get them out of the way so that you can rise. That's all. And you are yourself. Okay, tranquil, always the same. Like Mandamai, she says, my consciousness has never identified with this mortal body. Before creation, I was the same. As a little girl, I was the same. And when the dance of creation is finished around me, I will be the same. That is what you have to find. But it's not done in a mental way. It's done by that process. And so that's why the sages here very often they give a simple instruction. Repeat the name of God, feel the presence of God, and remember, I am one with He. So, and then, yes, then you discover who you are. And then you have one thing here, one thing which is rare, difficult to have. Swami Chidananda said not once, twice, I heard him dozens of times. There are three great blessings in life. The first one is the human life. You can check, you have this human body. Second one is mumukshutva, the desire for liberation. And the third one is the Sadguru. The Sadguru is a mysterious thing. We have here the grace of Gurudev, Swami Shivanandaji Maharaj. His grace is a factor in your life which is going to give you the ultimate awakening. So you have all the three. So take advantage of it. So, sis, am I finished?
I think what we can do is, on the 31st, there's going to be the puja, but actually we have the questions and answers with the panel, with Swami Muktanandaji, Gopiji, and myself, for the first session, and then anybody who wants to stay back, because either one is optional. Then they can come back and can ask as many questions as you want. They can just overflow. You can give written questions, but it will be very relaxed. And so I think we can finish for today.
There's a brother of mine like this. He went to Manadamai's place in Dehradun, and he asked me not to say, so I won't mention his name. And so when he went into where Ma left her body, in Dehradun,
Yeah.
Ma, he went into that, for the first time he went into that room, and Ma took him by the back and put her hands on him like this. And then he said to Ma, Ma, why do I see you as an object? And you know what Ma said to him?
What?
Who can touch you? Wow. Ma, only Ma can speak like Ma. Okay.
Thank you so much for a beautiful talk and beautiful answers to the questions. So you'll have lots of time to ask many questions on the 31st.